Welcome to our channel Wisdom of Stoicism. Imagine this. You meet someone new. They seem friendly, charming, even trustworthy. First, everything feels normal. But over time, something doesn't sit right. Their words don't match their actions. They twist the truth. They drain your energy. And worst of all, they seem to enjoy watching others suffer. Now, you start questioning yourself. Am I overreacting? Maybe they don't mean it, but deep down, something is off. Here's the truth. Evil people don't announce themselves. They hide in plain sight. They pretend to be your friend, your family, even your biggest supporter. But behind the mask, they manipulate, deceive, and destroy. The ancient Stoics knew this well. Marcus Aurelius warned us, "Your mind will take the shape of what you frequently hold in thought." That means if you surround yourself with the wrong people, their negativity will poison you, without you even realizing it. So how do you spot them? How do you know if the person next to you is truly dangerous? In this video, we're breaking down 6 red flags that reveal an evil person before it's too late. Pay close attention, because missing these signs could cost you more than just your peace of mind. Let's get started. Understanding evil from a Stoic perspective. Evil doesn't always look like what we expect. It doesn't always come with a menacing look, a cruel laugh, or obvious malice. Sometimes it's quiet. It hides in plain sight behind charm, intelligence, and even kindness. It works slowly, gaining your trust, making you feel comfortable, until one day you realize you've been deceived. Have you ever met someone who made you feel uneasy, but you couldn't quite explain why? Maybe they were overly polite, always saying the right things. Maybe they flattered you too much, made promises that felt too good to be true. Or maybe, deep down, you just sensed something was off. That feeling isn't paranoia. It's instinct. A warning signal that something isn't right. The Stoics understood human nature deeply. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." In other words, no matter how much someone pretends, their true nature will always reveal itself. If their thoughts are selfish, cruel, or manipulative, their actions will eventually show it, through their behavior, their choices, and the way they treat others. But here's the problem. Evil people don't always show their true colors right away. Some of them are patient. They study you. They learn what you like, what you fear, and what makes you vulnerable. They use this knowledge not to help you, but to control you. Some manipulate through words, twisting the truth so that you begin to doubt yourself. Others use emotional games, guilt, shame, or silent treatment to keep you under their influence. And some, they drain your energy, taking and taking while giving nothing in return. If you don't recognize these people early, you may find yourself trapped in a toxic situation that slowly destroys your peace. That's why it's crucial to understand the 6 major red flags that reveal if someone next to you is truly evil. These signs are not always obvious, but once you learn them, you'll never be fooled again. So, pay close attention, because spotting these red flags could save you from years of manipulation, heartbreak, and regret. Let's get started. Red flag 1. They are masters of manipulation. Have you ever met someone who seems to have all the right words, but something about them just doesn't sit right? They tell you what you want to hear, but their actions don't match up with their words. This is the first red flag that reveals someone may not be as innocent as they appear. These people are experts at manipulation. Manipulators know exactly how to twist situations to their advantage. They don't necessarily shout or force things. They use subtle techniques to get what they want. One minute, they're telling you how much they care about you, and the next, they're guilt-tripping you into doing something for them. It could be something small at first, like asking for a favor that seems harmless. But over time, it starts to feel like you're the one always giving, and they're the ones always taking. You feel guilty for saying no, even though you know deep down that you shouldn't have to say yes. The tricky part is that manipulators rarely show their true intentions right away. They usually begin by establishing trust. They act kind, thoughtful, and generous. People you'd want to have in your life. But as you get closer, they start to ask for more and more from you, and the balance shifts. Suddenly, you realize they're controlling your time, your energy, and your emotions. They use your kindness against you, and before you know it, you're trapped in a cycle of pleasing them just to keep the peace. Let me give you an example. Imagine you're working on a project with a colleague at work. They tell you how much they appreciate your input and how great your ideas are. But every time a decision needs to be made, they subtly shift the responsibility onto you. At first, it's a small task here and there, nothing too major. But soon enough, you're shouldering most of the work while they get the credit. Every time you try to stand your ground, they say, "Oh, I thought you'd be fine with this," or "I didn't realize it was a big deal." They make you feel like you're the problem, not them. This kind of behavior is all about control. A manipulator doesn't just ask for help. They expect it, and if you don't deliver, they'll make you feel guilty for not doing enough. They might even start to play the victim, making it seem like you're the one who's selfish or unreasonable. This is how they slowly but surely break down your boundaries and make you doubt your own decisions. The worst part is, they're so good at it that you might not even realize you're being manipulated until it's too late. You start to feel like you owe them something, even if they've never given you anything in return. They make you believe that you're the one who should be grateful for their help, even when you're the one who's constantly giving. It's a slow, insidious process, and before long, it can leave you feeling drained, unappreciated, and stuck. This is why Stoicism warns us to be cautious about the people we let into our lives. Marcus Aurelius said, "If someone can prove me wrong and show me my mistake in any way, I'll gladly change. But if they're just using their words to manipulate me or make me feel small, I need to step away." He understood the importance of keeping your peace and protecting your energy from those who seek to take advantage of you. If you're noticing that someone is constantly shifting the blame onto you, making you feel guilty, or always asking for favors without offering anything in return, take a step back. Pay attention to how you feel when you're around them. Are you left feeling empowered and supported? Or do you feel drained, confused, and guilty? If it's the latter, it's time to recognize the signs and protect yourself from further manipulation. Your time, your energy, and your peace of mind are far too valuable to let someone else control. So remember, be careful about who you trust. Manipulators can be charming, but their true intentions will always come to light if you're paying attention. Red flag 2. They take pleasure in others' pain. Imagine this. You're at a social gathering, and you hear someone laughing a bit too loudly over someone else's misfortune. Maybe someone got fired, or they experienced a setback in life, and instead of offering sympathy or support, this person finds it funny. First, you might brush it off as a bad joke. But when you start paying attention, you notice it's a pattern. Whenever something goes wrong for others, this person doesn't show concern. They celebrate it. They even make jokes at the expense of others' suffering. This is a clear red flag that the person next to you is not someone you want in your life. Stoicism teaches us to be aware of the kind of people we allow to influence us. The Stoic philosopher, Epictetus, believed that we should surround ourselves only with those who inspire us to become better versions of ourselves. Those who find joy in others' pain are the exact opposite. Let's think about it from a Stoic perspective. Life can be challenging, and we all face our own struggles. When we experience hardship, the people who are truly good to us are the ones who empathize, offer comfort, and remind us that we're not alone. But someone who takes pleasure in watching others suffer is a person whose heart has hardened. They are disconnected from their own humanity, and their actions are often driven by jealousy, bitterness, or malice. There's a saying, "Misery loves company." This means that people who feel bad about their own lives might find some twisted sense of relief in seeing others struggle. The truth is, when someone laughs at your pain, it says more about them than it does about you. It shows that they are either emotionally immature, or worse, they have a deeper, darker nature that thrives on the misery of others. The Stoics, particularly Marcus Aurelius, warned us to be cautious of people who drag us down into negativity. Marcus said, "If someone does wrong, I will do good, for that is the only way to maintain peace in my soul." Stoicism teaches us to respond to others' negativity with virtue, by offering kindness and understanding instead of participating in the toxic cycle. But that doesn't mean we should allow these harmful people into our lives. Someone who constantly enjoys the suffering of others will do everything they can to destroy your peace. They will make fun of others' failures, criticize those who are already down, and never once offer support when it's needed most. These people can be dangerously draining. They don't just laugh at misfortune, they actively make it worse. In your life, if you encounter someone who seems to get a thrill from seeing others in pain, it's a huge red flag. It's not just their behavior that's concerning, it's the way they perceive the world. They see joy in destruction. And this type of person will never be a positive influence in your life. So what can you do? First, take note of the pattern. If someone in your circle laughs at others' mistakes, enjoys gossip about someone's downfall, or seems to take delight when others are struggling, trust your instincts. These aren't the people you want around. They are toxic and they will drain your energy. Don't allow yourself to become part of their negativity. Instead, keep your distance and seek out people who lift you up. Remember, Stoicism is all about maintaining inner peace and virtue. It's essential to protect your own well-being by distancing yourself from people who bring harm to your mind and soul. Life is too short to let these types of people rob you of your happiness. Red flag 3. They betray without remorse. Have you ever trusted someone, only for them to turn around and betray you? It's a painful experience that can leave you questioning your own judgment. Betrayal is one of the most damaging things a person can do, especially when it's done without any remorse. These individuals may pretend to be your friend, someone you can rely on, but when the moment comes to show loyalty, they let you down. Picture this. You've shared something personal with a close friend, something you trusted them with. Maybe it's a vulnerability or a secret you've never told anyone else. It feels like a bond of trust has been formed, but then you find out that they've told other people about it. Maybe even twisted the story to make it seem worse than it was. When confronted, instead of apologizing or acknowledging the hurt, they shrug it off. They don't feel bad about it. They don't care. It's as if your trust meant nothing to them. Now, let's take a moment to think about this. Stoicism teaches us to value integrity and honesty above all else. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, often reflected on the importance of trust and how betrayal can corrupt the soul. He believed that a person's character is defined by how they act in times of adversity, how they treat others when there's nothing to gain. People who betray without remorse don't just damage their relationship with you. They reveal their true nature. Betrayal without remorse is often a sign of someone who is self-centered. They don't care about your feelings, your needs, or your well-being. All that matters to them is their own agenda, and they'll use and manipulate you to get what they want. They'll lie, deceive, and break promises without hesitation, because to them, the bond of friendship or trust is just a tool, nothing more. If someone constantly betrays you and never shows any signs of regret or guilt, that's a major red flag. This behavior shows a complete lack of empathy. They don't care about how their actions affect you. They only care about themselves. In Stoic terms, they are living in a way that is far removed from virtue. They're not concerned with the greater good or the impact of their actions on others. They are concerned only with what benefits them. Now, betrayal can happen in different ways. Could be as small as breaking a promise, or as big as sharing something you've entrusted to them with others. But regardless of the size, the lack of remorse is what makes it truly dangerous. A person who betrays you and doesn't care about the hurt they caused isn't just unreliable. They are showing you that they don't have the integrity or moral compass you need in your life. So, how do you deal with someone like this? The Stoics would say, cut them off, not out of spite or anger, but because your peace of mind and well-being are far more important than holding on to a toxic relationship. Trust is a fragile thing, and once it's broken, it's hard to repair. If you continue to keep someone around who betrays you without remorse, you risk allowing their negative behavior to influence your own life. You deserve better. In summary, if someone repeatedly betrays you and doesn't show any remorse, that's a major sign that they don't have your best interests at heart. Protect your peace and your trust. It's not worth keeping someone in your life who shows no regret for the harm they've caused. Remember, true friends honor their word, and they care about your feelings. something a betrayer will never understand. Red flag 4. They lack empathy. When you're going through a tough time, you expect the people closest to you to understand, to show concern, or at the very least, to offer a shoulder to lean on. But with certain people, it's different. You could be drowning in your own pain, and they barely even notice. Or worse, they might brush it off as if it's nothing. This is one of the clearest signs that the person you're dealing with might not have the best intentions toward you. Imagine this. You've just experienced a personal loss, maybe a breakup or a family member has passed away. You reach out to a friend, hoping for some comfort. You start talking about your emotions, but instead of offering sympathy, they start making jokes, changing the subject, or even worse, criticizing you for feeling upset. It's almost like they're completely disconnected from what you're going through. Now, this isn't just about someone being rude once in a while. We all have our off days, but a person who lacks empathy does this consistently. They might act as if your struggles are insignificant, or even worse, mock you for expressing vulnerability. Stoic philosophers like Marcus Aurelius and Epictetus understood the importance of empathy. They believed that part of being a virtuous human being was to acknowledge and understand the feelings of others. When you're around someone who doesn't show any empathy, it's like they have a wall up. They're emotionally unavailable, and no matter how much you share, they never seem to really get it. It's as if your pain doesn't register with them at all. This kind of person isn't just indifferent to your feelings. They may even view your emotions as a weakness. They could make you feel as though you're overreacting, or that your problems don't matter. In Stoic philosophy, we are reminded to practice compassion, but more importantly, to surround ourselves with people who uplift us, not drain us. Marcus Aurelius often wrote about the need to show understanding, especially in times of hardship. If the person next to you cannot show the same kind of care and respect, it's a sign that they might not be the right person to keep in your life. But it's not always easy to see this red flag right away. Sometimes it's subtle. It can start with small moments where they fail to acknowledge your pain. Maybe they don't congratulate you when you achieve something important, or they belittle your dreams. And over time, these little moments add up. It might not seem like much at first, but when you look back, you realize that the person you thought had your back was always emotionally distant. The worst part about being around someone who lacks empathy is that it can make you feel isolated. They never really understand you, and even though you're surrounded by people, you feel more alone than ever. Empathy is what connects us as humans, and when it's missing, relationships can become one-sided and shallow. So, what can you do if you recognize this red flag in someone? First, it's important to trust your instincts. If someone constantly dismisses your feelings, or if they make you feel invisible, it's okay to distance yourself. The Stoics taught us that we cannot control how others behave, but we can control how much we allow their behavior to affect us. You deserve people in your life who care about you, who listen when you speak, and who support you in times of need. Ultimately, empathy is not just about sympathy, it's about connection. It's about truly seeing and understanding the other person. If the person next to you lacks that ability, it may be time to reconsider whether they belong in your circle. You don't need to keep someone around who doesn't genuinely care about you. Remember, your emotional well-being is worth protecting. Red flag 5. They are pathological liars. Have you ever had someone in your life who seems to lie constantly, even when there's no real reason to? They spin stories that don't add up, twist facts to make themselves look good, or make promises they never keep. You may have noticed that their words rarely align with their actions. It's like they live in a world where lies are the norm, and the truth is a distant memory. This is a major red flag. In Stoic philosophy, truth is something that holds immense value. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic minds, constantly emphasized the importance of integrity and honesty. He believed that one's character is built on being truthful, not just with others, but with oneself. A person who is constantly lying has a fractured character, and according to Stoic thinking, they are a threat to your peace of mind. So why do some people lie so much? Well, for one, lying often gives them a sense of control or power. It's a way for them to shape their reality, even if that reality is built on falsehoods. You might notice that the more they lie, the more chaotic and inconsistent their stories become. They'll tell you one thing today, only to tell you something completely different tomorrow. Their version of events is always changing, depending on what benefits them in the moment. And it's not just the big lies that you need to worry about. It's the little ones too, the ones that don't seem like much but over time add up. They might tell you they'll call you back in a few hours, but days go by without hearing from them. Or maybe they promise to meet you at a certain time, only to cancel at the last minute with an excuse that doesn't quite add up. These small lies may seem harmless at first, but they slowly erode the trust that's supposed to be the foundation of any relationship. But it's not just about broken promises and untrue stories. The most dangerous aspect of a pathological liar is their ability to deceive so effortlessly. They can look you in the eye and say things that seem perfectly believable, and they do it so convincingly that you start to question yourself. They may even get defensive when confronted, making you feel like you're the one in the wrong. This is what we call gaslighting, manipulating someone into doubting their own reality. This constant web of lies also affects your own peace of mind. You can't trust anything they say, and that uncertainty starts to weigh on you. You'll begin to second-guess every conversation, wondering if what they said is true or just another fabricated story. Over time, this leaves you emotionally drained and confused. Trust, once broken, is hard to rebuild, and being around someone who is constantly lying only makes everything feel unstable and unreliable. As Stoics, we believe that peace of mind comes from understanding the truth and accepting things as they are. You can't control what others do, but you can control who you allow into your life. A person who lies without remorse is someone you should keep at a distance. The Stoics would advise you not to waste time or energy trying to fix someone who refuses to be truthful. Instead, protect your inner peace by recognizing the lies and moving on. If you're constantly surrounded by lies, ask yourself, why am I tolerating this? The Stoic mindset would tell you that it's better to live without deceit, even if that means cutting ties with people who refuse to be honest. Remember, your time, energy, and peace of mind are too valuable to spend on someone who doesn't respect the truth. Red flag 6. They drain your energy and peace. Have you ever spent time with someone and felt completely drained afterward? You might have had a good conversation, maybe even shared a few laughs, but when it was over, all you could think was, I need a nap, or I feel emotionally exhausted. That feeling isn't just a coincidence. It's a red flag. Some people, without even realizing it, are emotional vampires. They can suck the energy right out of you, leaving you feeling mentally and physically drained. This is one of the most subtle but dangerous red flags. At first, you might not notice it. You may even think, they're just going through a tough time, or maybe it's just me, maybe I'm tired. But after spending time with them again, you feel that same overwhelming sense of exhaustion. It's as if their presence is taking more from you than you can afford to give. People like this are often incredibly manipulative. They don't necessarily do it on purpose, but they know how to keep you in a constant state of giving. They might make you feel responsible for their problems, or they might constantly seek attention, praise, or validation. But no matter how much you give, it's never enough for them. They always want more, and they always leave you feeling emptier than before. It's not just about physical exhaustion. These people can drain you mentally and emotionally. They may come to you with their problems, seeking advice or comfort, but never really taking any action to solve their issues. They repeat the same complaints over and over, and you find yourself caught in this cycle of trying to fix things for them. The problem is, they don't actually want to be fixed. They enjoy the attention, and they feed off of your sympathy. They want to keep you engaged in their drama, and before you know it, you're stuck in a toxic, one-sided relationship. The thing with these kinds of people is that they can sometimes disguise themselves as needing help. They may seem like they're genuinely struggling, and as empathetic individuals, we want to help them. But after time, you begin to realize that it's not about helping them, it's about them draining your resources. Your time, your energy, your patience, nothing is ever returned. They leave you feeling like you've given everything, and yet they still aren't satisfied. This constant draining of your energy can also affect your mental clarity. You start to feel anxious, overwhelmed, or stressed just thinking about being around them. You might even start second-guessing yourself, wondering if it's something you did or said. But the truth is, it's not you, it's them. They are emotionally exhausting because they don't know how to manage their own energy or emotions, and they depend on others to do it for them. So, how do you handle someone like this? The first step is recognizing the pattern. If you notice that every time you spend time with them, you're left feeling worse than before, it's time to distance yourself. It's important to set boundaries with these people. You can't keep giving away your energy and expect to stay mentally and emotionally healthy. Stoic philosophy teaches us to value our peace above all else. In the words of Marcus Aurelius, the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. And sometimes, the best thing you can do for your own well-being is to walk away from toxic people who continually drain you. It's not about being harsh or unkind. It's about protecting your inner peace and focusing on the people who genuinely uplift you. If you've ever felt this kind of exhaustion after being around someone, take it as a sign. Trust your instincts. And remember, you are not obligated to carry someone else's emotional baggage. Protect your peace at all costs. So, let's take a moment to recap everything we've covered. We've explored the 6 red flags that could reveal someone in your life is toxic or, even worse, evil. These signs, manipulation, lack of empathy, betrayal, and others, might not always be obvious, but when you start paying attention, they become clear. People who manipulate, take pleasure in others' suffering, lie without remorse, and drain your energy can have a serious impact on your life. The sad reality is, these people can sometimes be the ones closest to us. But here's the thing, Stoic philosophy teaches us that we are responsible for our own peace. It's up to us to protect our emotional and mental well-being, and part of that means being mindful of the people we allow into our lives. We can't always control what others do, but we can control how we respond. Recognizing these red flags early is a crucial step toward taking back control and ensuring that we don't let toxic individuals dictate our happiness. It's important to remember that you don't have to tolerate bad behavior. If someone consistently shows these signs, it's okay to step back, set boundaries, or even cut ties. You deserve relationships that build you up, not tear you down. The Stoics knew that our time and energy are precious, and surrounding ourselves with the right people is key to living a peaceful, meaningful life. So, if you've recognized any of these red flags in your own life, take a moment to reflect on what changes you need to make. Don't be afraid to distance yourself from people who aren't aligned with your values, or who bring negativity into your life. Remember, your peace of mind is worth more than keeping toxic relationships around. Thank you for watching. I hope this video gave you some valuable insights to help protect yourself from harmful people and stay true to your path. If you found this helpful, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more content, and drop your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear about your experiences or any red flags you've encountered. Let's keep learning, growing, and protecting our peace together. Stay wise and take care.